My child, I am about to speak words to you that your flesh will resist, truth that your ego will reject, reality that your pride will fight against, and I need you to know up front before I say what I am about to say, that you will not like this message, you will not enjoy this word, you will not feel comfortable with this truth, and that is precisely why you need to hear it, that is exactly why I must speak it, that is specifically why I cannot remain silent, because there is something in your life that needs to be addressed, something in your walk that needs to be confronted, something in your heart that needs to be exposed, and no one else is willing to tell you. Everyone else is too concerned with your feelings, everyone else is too worried about your reaction, everyone else is too afraid of your response, but I am not concerned with making you comfortable, I am not worried about your temporary discomfort, I am not afraid of your initial resistance because I love you too much to let you continue in deception. I care about you too deeply to watch you destroy your own destiny through patterns you refuse to acknowledge. I am invested in you too significantly to allow you to sabotage your own success through behaviors you will not confront. And so I am going to speak harsh truth today, I am going to deliver difficult words right now, I am going to say things that will offend your flesh, that will challenge your self-perception, that will contradict the narrative you have been telling yourself, and I am going to do it because it is necessary, because it is essential, because it is critical for where I am taking you, because you cannot go where I am leading while holding on to what I am about to expose, you cannot step into what I have prepared while clinging to what I am about to reveal, you cannot walk in the fullness of your calling while maintaining what I am about to confront. And I would rather you be uncomfortable with truth for a moment than comfortable with deception for a lifetime. I would rather you be offended by honesty today than destroyed by lies tomorrow. I would rather you resist this message now than regret ignoring it later. So hear me clearly, listen carefully, receive completely, even though you will not like what I am about to say, even though your flesh will react against what I am about to speak, even though everything in you will want to dismiss what I am about to declare. Here is the harsh truth. Here is the difficult reality, here is the uncomfortable fact that you need to face. You are not where you are because of what others did to you, you are not in your current situation primarily because of how you were treated, you are not stuck in your circumstances mainly because of what happened to you, you are where you are largely because of the choices you have made, you are in your current situation primarily because of the decisions you have taken, you are stuck in your circumstances mainly because of the patterns you have repeated. And I know this is hard to hear, I understand this feels unfair, I recognize this seems cruel because you have been hurt, because you have been wounded, because you have been wronged, and those hurts were real, those wounds were significant, those wrongs were genuine, and I saw them all, I witnessed everyone, I felt every impact, but here is what I also saw. I also witnessed how you responded to those hurts, I also observed how you reacted to those wounds, I also noticed how you handled those wrongs, and while you could not control what others did to you, while you could not prevent how they treated you, while you could not stop what they inflicted upon you, you could control how you responded, you could choose how you reacted, you could determine how you handled it, and many of the choices you made, many of the reactions you displayed, many of the responses you gave, they were understandable, they were natural, they were predictable given what you experienced, but they were also destructive, they were also limiting, they were also self-sabotaging, and they have kept you stuck, they have held you back, they have prevented you from moving forward, and until you acknowledge this, until you accept responsibility for this, until you stop blaming everything on what was done to you and start owning what you have done in response, you will remain stuck, you will stay limited, you will continue circling the same mountain, facing the same tests, repeating the same patterns, experiencing the same frustrations, wondering why breakthrough never comes, why doors never open, why promises never manifest. And the answer, the harsh truth, the difficult reality, is that breakthrough is being blocked by your refusal to take responsibility. Doors are staying closed because of your insistence on playing victim. Promises are not manifesting because you are more committed to your narrative than you are to your transformation. And I am not saying this to be cruel, I am not speaking this to be harsh, I am not declaring this to be insensitive, I am saying this because it is true, I am speaking this because it is accurate, I am declaring this because it is real, and you need to hear it, you must face it, you have to deal with it, because your destiny is too important to be forfeited through self-deception. Your calling is too significant to be lost through blame shifting, your assignment is too critical to be abandoned through victim mentality. Now let me address the reaction I know you are having, let me speak to the response I sense rising in you, let me confront the defense I see forming in your mind, because you are thinking right now, God, you do not understand, you do not know what I have been through, you do not comprehend how difficult my situation is, and you are starting to list all the reasons why this harsh truth does not apply to you, all the circumstances that make your case different, all the factors that justify your current condition. But I want you to stop for a moment, I want you to pause that defense, I want you to silence that justification, and I want you to ask yourself one honest question, one truthful inquiry, one genuine examination, Am I defensive right now because this word is inaccurate, or am I defensive right now because this word is uncomfortably accurate? Am I resisting this message because it is wrong, or am I resisting this message because it is right and I do not want to face it? Am I rejecting this truth because it does not apply to me, or am I rejecting this truth because it does apply to me? And that is terrifying, because defensiveness is often a sign that truth has found its target. Resistance frequently indicates that reality has struck a nerve. Rejection commonly suggests that revelation has exposed something we would rather keep hidden. And if you are feeling defensive right now, if you are experiencing resistance in this moment, if you are sensing rejection rising within you, I am asking you to consider, to genuinely consider, to honestly consider that maybe, just maybe, this harsh truth is exactly what you needed to hear, that perhaps, just perhaps, this difficult reality is precisely what will set you free, that possibly, just possibly, this uncomfortable fact is specifically what will produce the breakthrough you have been praying for. Because sometimes the truth that offends our flesh is the truth that liberates our spirit. Sometimes the word that makes us angry is the word that makes us free. Sometimes the message that we want to reject is the message that we most need to receive. And I am speaking this to you today. I am delivering this word right now. I am addressing this reality in this moment. Not because I enjoy confronting you, not because I take pleasure in your discomfort, not because I want to see you squirm, but because I love you too much to leave you where you are, because I care about you too deeply to let you waste another year in patterns that are destroying you, because I am committed to you too significantly to watch you forfeit your destiny through self-deception that you refuse to acknowledge. And if you are receiving this word, if you are hearing this truth, if you are feeling the conviction that comes with being confronted by reality, then I want you to do something. I want you to type in the comments below, I take responsibility, not, I will take responsibility, not, I should take responsibility, but, I take responsibility, present tense, current commitment, immediate decision. Because when you make that declaration, when you speak that commitment, when you state that decision, something breaks in the spiritual realm, something shifts in the atmosphere, something changes in your trajectory, and you move from being a victim of your circumstances to being a steward of your destiny. You transition from being controlled by your past to being empowered for your future. You shift from being limited by what was done to you to being launched by how you respond to what was done to you. So go ahead right now, pause this message, go to the comments, type, I take responsibility, and let that be your declaration, let that be your commitment, let that be your turning point. And as you type those words, let them sink deep into your spirit, let them take root in your heart, let them establish conviction in your soul, because those words have power, that declaration has authority, that commitment has impact, and it breaks something that has been holding you. It releases something that has been binding you, it frees something that has been restricting you. So, type it now, declare it openly, state it clearly, and then come back and hear what happens next. What shifts when you take responsibility, what changes when you stop being victim and start being victorious. Now let me tell you what happens when you finally take responsibility, when you finally stop blaming and start changing, when you finally embrace this harsh truth and let it transform you, because the moment you do, the instant you stop making excuses and start making progress, the second you quit being victim and start being victor, everything shifts, the spiritual atmosphere around you changes, the demonic oppression that has been holding you breaks, the limitations that have been restricting you lift, the doors that have been closed begin to open, the resources that have been withheld start flowing, the relationships that need to align begin connecting, the clarity that was missing suddenly comes, the strength that was depleted gets renewed, the authority that was dormant becomes activated, the anointing that was limited becomes multiplied. And it is not that these things were not available before. It is not that I was withholding them from you, it is that they could not be released to someone who was refusing responsibility, they could not be entrusted to someone who was playing victim, they could not be given to someone who was blaming everyone else, because power goes to those who take responsibility, authority is released to those who own their choices, anointing is multiplied on those who stop making excuses, and as long as you were pointing fingers at others, as long as you were blaming your circumstances, as long as you were justifying your stagnation, I could not release what I wanted to give you, I could not open what I wanted to provide, I could not activate what I wanted to empower, not because I was being punitive, not because I was withholding blessing, not because I did not want you to have it, but because giving it to you in that state would have harmed you, providing it while you were still playing victim would have destroyed you, releasing it before you took responsibility would have corrupted you, because blessing without character leads to destruction, power without responsibility leads to disaster, authority without accountability leads to catastrophe, and I love you too much to set you up for that, I care about you too deeply to release what would ultimately harm you, I am invested in you too significantly to give you what you are not prepared to steward, but now that you have taken responsibility, now that you have stopped playing victim, now that you have embraced this harsh truth, Everything I have been holding can be released, everything I have been protecting can be provided, everything I have been reserving can be activated, and you are about to experience breakthrough like you have never experienced before. You are about to walk in authority you have never demonstrated before. You are about to operate in anointing you have never accessed before, all because you were willing to hear harsh truth, all because you were brave enough to face difficult reality, all because you were strong enough to take responsibility. But I also need to prepare you for what comes next. I need to equip you for what follows this decision. I need to warn you about what happens after you take responsibility, because the enemy is going to attack this, he is going to challenge this, he is going to test this, and he is going to do it by bringing people and circumstances that tempt you to return to victim mentality, that encourage you to start blaming again, that justify you making excuses once more, and he is going to time these attacks strategically, right after you made this declaration, right when you are trying to build new patterns, right as you are establishing this new identity, and his attacks will be designed to make you feel foolish for taking responsibility, to make you regret facing harsh truth, to make you wish you had stayed comfortable in your victim narrative, and he is going to whisper, "See, taking responsibility did not change anything. Nothing is different. You were right to blame others all along. You should go back to what was comfortable. But I am telling you in advance, I am warning you ahead of time, I am preparing you now, that these attacks are not evidence that you made a mistake, they are not proof that taking responsibility was wrong, they are not indication that you should return to victim mentality, they are confirmation that you made the right choice, they are evidence that you are now a threat. They are proof that you have accessed something powerful, because the enemy does not attack people who are no threat to him, he does not challenge people who are staying stuck, he does not test people who are remaining comfortable in their limitations, he attacks those who are breaking free, he challenges those who are taking ground, he tests those who are advancing in authority, and when these attacks come, when these tests arise, when these challenges appear, you will stand firm, you will hold your ground, you will maintain your decision, and you will declare, "I have taken responsibility, I have stopped playing victim, I have embraced harsh truth, and I am not going back, I am not returning to old patterns, I am not retreating to former limitations, I am moving forward, I am breaking through, I am walking in authority, and nothing the enemy does will change that, nothing circumstances throw at me will alter that, nothing people say to me will reverse that, because I know who I am, I know what I am called to, I know where I am going, and I am taking responsibility for getting there." And let me also address the shame that some of you are feeling right now, the condemnation that is trying to settle on you after hearing this harsh truth, the guilt that is attempting to overwhelm you after recognizing your role in where you are, because the enemy loves to twist conviction into condemnation, he loves to transform truth into torture, he loves to convert awareness into anguish, and he is whispering to some of you right now, "See how bad you are, look at what you have done. Recognize how you have messed up, you are worthless, you are hopeless, you are beyond help." But I am telling you clearly, I am declaring firmly, I am stating absolutely, that is not my voice, that is not my heart, that is not my intention. Conviction for me always leads to transformation, never to condemnation. Correction for me always produces hope, never hopelessness. Truth for me always generates freedom, never bondage. And yes, I have spoken harsh truth today, yes, I have delivered difficult words, yes, I have confronted uncomfortable reality, but I have done it to liberate you, not to destroy you. I have done it to empower you, not to condemn you. I have done it to launch you, not to limit you, because I see not just where you are, I see where you are going. I see not just what you have done, I see what you are becoming. I see not just the patterns that have held you back, I see the potential that is being released, and taking responsibility is not about beating yourself up over past mistakes. It is about positioning yourself for future breakthrough. Acknowledging your role is not about drowning in guilt, it is about accessing grace for transformation. Facing harsh truth is not about condemnation, it is about liberation. And from this day forward, from this moment onward, from this point ahead, you walk free, you walk empowered, you walk victorious, not because you are perfect, not because you will never make mistakes again, not because you will always get it right, but because you have taken responsibility, because you have stopped playing victim, because you have embraced truth even when it was harsh, and that has positioned you for everything I want to release, everything I want to provide, everything I want to activate. Now hear this final word, hear this concluding declaration, hear what I am speaking over you as you step into responsibility, as you embrace harsh truth, as you release victim mentality. You did not like this message, your flesh resisted these words, your pride fought this reality, but you received it anyway, you accepted it despite discomfort, you embraced it even though it challenged you, and that decision, that choice, that courage, it has changed everything, it has shifted your trajectory, it has repositioned your destiny, and from this day forward you are no longer victim, you are victor, you are no longer limited by your past, you are empowered for your future, you are no longer defined by what was done to you, you are determined by what you do in response, and you are going to walk differently, carry yourself differently, operate differently because you have taken responsibility, because you have faced harsh truth, because you have stopped making excuses and started making progress, and everything that was blocked is now opening, everything that was withheld is now flowing, everything that was dormant is now activating, and you will look back on this message as the turning point, as the moment everything changed, as the day you stopped being controlled by your past and started being empowered for your future, and you will thank me, not because the message was comfortable but because it was true, not because it made you feel good but because it set you free, not because it was what you wanted to hear but because it was what you needed to hear. So go now, go free, go empowered, go victorious, go responsible, and watch what I do through someone who has stopped playing victim and started walking in victory. Watch what I release to someone who has stopped making excuses and started taking responsibility. Watch what I accomplish through someone who was brave enough to hear harsh truth and wise enough to let it transform them. This is your moment. This is your turning point. This is your breakthrough. You took responsibility. Now walk in the authority that comes with it.